If you are like me, you probably wasted many hours playing video games, scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, wasting hundreds of hours on YouTube, and you know intrinsically that this is killing you inside. You feel like you have a deeper purpose, and all these distractions are killing you day by day. At a certain point in my life, I understood that I didn't like how the world worked. So I started looking for another path. Fast forwarding a little, I ended up starting to track my habits on a Google Sheet. And this happened after I started reading a book called Measure What Matters by John Doerr. I read the quote that says, "What gets measured gets achieved." And since then, I started tracking all my habits, the good ones and the bad ones. And here are the 5 things that I learned by doing that for more than a year, actually a year and a half. And I can't wait you to see number 5 because that's my favorite, and I think that's the most important thing I learned, because I tended to compare myself to other people that had more success than me. The first thing I learned is that there are always gonna be bad days. You can't avoid them. The reason is because we are humans, and as humans, we need days off. I don't care how much you want to work. At a certain point in time, you need to take a break. What I noticed when I track my habits, I don't want to take breaks. I want to work the best way possible for days and days and days, but I cannot do that. And so there are days where I fuck up. Everybody fucks up. But what I learned from this is that I need, and you need to prepare yourself for bad days. And how you prepare for bad days is by scheduling a day off. I don't know, maybe you want to take a day off a week, maybe you want to take 2 days off a month. I don't know how you want to organize yourself, but schedule days off, because you are gonna eventually have a bad day and you can't avoid it. And when you can't avoid it, that day is gonna become 2 days, and then you're gonna make a streak of 7 days. It's gonna be a week, then it's gonna be 2 weeks, and that's gonna destroy all your momentum that you built by compounding all these good habits one on top of the other. And you don't want to do that. You don't. Why would you? The second thing I learned by habit tracking is you get to create a raw image of who you really are. And what I mean by that is that you get to see on this. I have the Google Sheet, right? You get to see on this Google Sheet, or maybe it's your journal or another piece of paper, you get to see all the good and the bad about yourself. And it's a moment when you get to confront yourself with all your flaws, all your advantages, and you get to see them. You see them. They are there. And you understand how fucked up you are if you are lacking. Maybe if you've been avoiding a habit for like 2 weeks, you can see it on the sheet, on the paper. You can read it. Wait a second. I've been skipping this habit for a long time. Maybe I should start getting back on track. You understand who you really are, and I think that's really important, because once you understand who you are at the core, what your capabilities are, and how much potential you're wasting, I think that's also a sort of wake-up call. Because if you have really a purpose and you really want to achieve it, you're gonna be really angry when you see that piece of paper or sheet and you see, well, I'm not working as much as I could. And another thing I learned is that if you feel like you received some value from this video, you should be liking it, because otherwise, why would you be still watching the video, right? Number 3 is it reinforces your motivation and commitment to your goals. And why is that? Well, think about it. Maybe you've been tracking your habits for maybe 2 months, 3-4 months, okay? And maybe you're killing it with a habit. Maybe you're killing it with meditation. Maybe you're on a 50-day streak on meditation. It's gonna be a really big confidence boost. And let's say you're tracking 5 habits. Maybe you're tracking meditation, you're tracking working out, maybe you're tracking no sugar, you're tracking no games, you're tracking wake up early. And you had a streak on meditating for 50 days. That's gonna influence the other habits you'll be lacking, because with the confidence boost you get from that, you're gonna feel more competent, you're gonna feel more powerful, and therefore you will start to realize how powerful you are really. And with time, the other habits get accomplished too. I've seen that with myself. I had on my habits that I wanted to avoid, on my bad habits, I had gaming, because I was a League of Legends addict. Yes, you can quit League of Legends if you really want, but you have to shift your personality and the person that you view yourself. But that's maybe gonna be for another video. I was tracking gaming for a long time and I haven't been playing League of Legends. So I stopped playing League of Legends heavily like 2020. At that point I was just playing sporadically, like 1 day or 4 days a month, and I kept at that for some months, until a few months ago I completely stopped playing League of Legends. And I've done the same thing with smoking. It works. The fourth thing that I learned is that it develops your self-awareness and your discipline. And it does so because to keep track of your habits, you have to first instill yourself the habit of habits tracking. Because if you don't track your habits daily, how are you gonna track the habits, right? You first need to instill the habit of habit tracking to track your habits. That requires discipline. So you're building discipline by habit tracking. That is gonna then help the other habits that you want to accomplish or to get rid of. It also helps with self-awareness, because when you look at a bad streak, like a 10-day bad streak on a particular bad habit, you get the reality check. I'm not doing this. Wait a second. Maybe you've been tracking your habits sporadically the last days. Maybe you've done a few and the rest you completely dished them off. But at a certain point, you're gonna be self-aware and also angry with yourself. In a certain way, it's like having an accountability partner, but it's you. You are your own accountability partner. And that's so powerful. The last thing that I learned, it gives you a fair comparison to beat daily. What I mean by that is, you cannot look at other successful people as somebody to compare yourself to, because they've had their advantages and disadvantages, and you had your own advantages and disadvantages. By habit tracking, you're gonna build a persona, which is you. It's nobody else. It's you. It's you 100%, raw, fucked up, or good in certain areas. And that's the only person you can and should compare to. And by habit tracking, you have it right in front of your face. And it gets so much easier, become better, more productive by analyzing your past months. Maybe you will have bad months and good months, but ultimately you can do an average and look, okay, this month I did 60%, but last month I did 80%. I'm doing bad. That's a fair comparison, because you're comparing yourself with yourself, and this is the only way it should be. And I like it because of this. It gives you a solid, fair comparison to yourself. And if you're comparing yourself to other successful people that maybe they are younger than you, maybe they did it faster than you should stop it. You should focus, you should meditate, you should look at life as it is and understand that you are you and other people, they don't count, and that you can only influence your life with your decisions. And habit tracking is one of the best decisions you could take. So yeah, these are the things that I learned by habit tracking. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can subscribe to the channel and I will make more content like this. And I guess YouTube thinks that you will like this video here, and I think it's pretty dope because there's a lot of value there too.